Okay, welcome back. Let's go back to our topic, preparedness in calamity and disaster. Now we are now in a disaster management policies. When we talk about policies, it is a set of rules and regulations. Ito yung parang pinaka-guidelines kung paano dapat gumawa ang national and even local when it comes to disaster. This is what we call disaster management policies. Number one, self-reliance through self-help and mutual assistance. So, first of all, tayo mismo ang apektado rito. We need first aid, we need self-reliance, self-help. Use it, no? That's number one. No? Bago tayo tumawag. Pangalawa, maximum utilization of resources in the areas, no? Affected areas. Use all your resources. It means in this policy of disaster management, meron tayong station, meron tayong ginagawa in our building, in our community, na tayo muna ang gumawa. Okay? Then, number three, planning and operation to be done on the barangay level. Kanina, medyo individual o magkakapitbahay or in a community. Now, let's go to the barangay level na. In an interagency, multisectoral basis to optimize existing resources. So, baga sa sunog, merong parang signal na or warning, Alpha, Bravo, Delta, Echo, mga ganon. Ibig sabihin, habang tumataas yung sunog, lumalaki din yung letra, no? You can see na kailangan nandito pag lumalaki na, kailangan na yung tinatawag na interagency, multisectoral, no? Kailangan na yung ibang region, no? Papasok ng mga buong region, hindi lang city, kundi buong province. Pag hindi kaya ng province, buong region. Pag other regions ang tutulong sa atin para puksain yung sunog. Okay? Hindi lamang yan, ito ay nangyayari din sa Lindol lalo na. Okay? Nung nangyari ito sa Baguio City, bumagsak ang mga building doon, yung Hyatt Hotel, talagang collapse talaga. So buong Pilipinas ang talagang nagtulong-tulong, even international. Okay? Now, documentation of Plans Disaster Operations Center members. Kailangan i-document, no? Dapat meron tayong plano. Local leadership to take charge at their respective levels. Ito ay isa sa policy na kung saan kang station, then you're responsible. National government to support local government efforts. Okay? That is given. Exercise and periodic drills to be conducted, principally at the barangay level to ensure readiness of all concerned. Okay, pag-exercise yung ating fire drill, kahit sa school, no, building, ay gawin natin kahit na dun sa etong tinatawag na earthquake drill, no? Dapat ma-experience natin din yan. Different tasks of the National Disaster Coordinating Council. Sino ba ito? Ano yung kanilang mga trabaho? Number one, advises the President on the status of disaster preparedness programs, disaster operations and rehabilitation efforts undertaken by the government and private sector. Okay. Siguro mas familiar tayo sa COVID-19. The President is on the top of that interagency, no? Yung task force para tingnan, supilin yung ating yung pandemic na ito. Ganun din, no, sa ibang mga disaster. Establishes policy guidelines on emergency preparedness and disaster operations involving rescue, relief, and rehabilitation. Okay. Dapat mayroong mga guidelines in the emergency preparedness, no? Kung paano sa rescue, okay? I-rescue. Lalo na yung mga may buhay pa, yan ang nire-rescue yung mga lives, no? And relief sa mga taong apektado, pagkain, no? Tirahan, and other services. And of course, rehabilitation, paano muli sila bibigyan ng magandang buhay, okay? Tirahan. Then the third one establishes priorities in the allocation of funds, services, disaster equipment, and relief supplies. Okay? So titingnan yung ipa-prioritize, no, yung mga pondo, anong naapektado, anong mga services. Titingnan yan, no? So may mga priorities yan sa mga local governments, sa mga National Disaster Coordinating Council. And of course, advises the lower level, ito yung Level Disaster Coordinating Council, through the Office of Civil Defense in accordance with the guidelines on disaster management. So, from the President, sa mga kakulang yung nagtatrabaho dyan sa national, then to the local, to the lower level na. Okay. Siyempre, titignan yung guidelines. Now, different tasks of National Disaster Coordinating Council. Ano yung mga work nila? Ang work nila, number one, is to recommend to the President the declaration of state of calamity in areas effectively damaged and submits proposal to restore normalcy in the affected areas. So, kailan ba nagde-declare ang Presidente ng state of calamity? No? Merong pag-aaral dyan, merong mga measures dyan, at ito ay kapag ikaw ay pag ang place ay under ng state of calamity, of course merong ayuda, and even yung mga gastos ay bibigyan ng priority yan. Create an action group composed of department representatives. Iba't ibang mga departamento ang nariyan from the member departments and other government agencies with executive officer as head, and utilization of the facilities, and serves the Office of Civil Defense in Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City in discharging its function. So, etong coordinating council na to is national na to, National Disaster Coordinating Council. Ano ba yung mga national disaster na experience natin, like COVID, no? What else? Yung lindol, nangyari ito sa Baguio way back 1991. Now, who are the members of the councils? The Secretary of National Defense is the chairman, and the members are, number one, Department of Public Works and Highways, the DPWH, Department of Transportation and Communication, DOTC, Department of Social Welfare and Development, DSWD, Department of Agriculture, DA, Department of Education or DepEd, Department of Foreign Affairs, DFA, Department of Labor and Employment, DOLE, Department of Trade and Industry. Okay, they are 8. And who are the members of the council? The different coordinating council have personnel station in their respective operations centers. Okay, composed of the following. Okay, ito, damage assessment and need analysis unit. Ito yung mga unit or group, no? Kung saan assign sila just to look at the damage assessment, no? Look at the damage. Gaano kalawak at ano ang pangailangan. Pangalawa, mayroong grupo sa emergency management information. Okay? Management information, ito yung mga sa messages, sa communication, sa computer, yung mga ganyan. So, tinitingnan din yan. May mga assigned doon. And Vulnerability Risk Reduction Management Unit. Ito ay para uh, ma mapaalis o mapaikli or uh, i-minimize ang tinatawag na risk, no, para ito ay maging stable. And of course, plans and operation units. Isang grupo para ayusin yung mga mag-submit ng plans ang bawat bayan, bawat barangay, and even provincial or yon hanggang ito ay maging national. And of course, the rescue unit. No? Ito yung nagre-respond sa kung merong mga tragedy or disaster. Who are the members of the council? Its council shall provide operating units for number 1, communication, transportation, service, and early warning device. Okay, so part yan ng the question who are the members of the council, pero hindi yan yung main. Now we are dealing with the operating units, no? Una, merong communication, then health services, auxiliary fire and police services, relief and rehabilitation services, public information services, and rescue evaluation and engineering services. Ito yung mga units and team na part of the council na merong dapat na pang communication and transportation, health. Okay. What does the National Disaster Management Program contain? Okay, ano yung nandoon sa tinatawag na management program? Number 1, disaster preparedness. Okay, paano yan? Pangalawa, construction of disaster reduction facilities. 3, disaster response and short-term rehabilitation. 4, information, public information. And 5, research and development. So in disaster management disaster program, if you have a chance o binigyan ko kayo ng assignment to make a management program in your community, disaster management program in your community, I want to see this 5: disaster preparedness, construction of disaster reduction facilities, disaster response and short-term rehabilitation, public information, and research and development. In our own barangay yan. Okay? So, darating tayo dyan. And what are the suggestions to enhance community preparedness? Ito, isa sa mga tugon doon sa sinabi natin kanina, appreciation of the fact that any disaster can occur with or without warning. Okay, darating yan, anytime. Awareness on characteristics and effects of calamities, identification of vulnerability in disaster-prone areas and locality, readiness and threats of natural man-made hazards, capability to do what must be done and when to do it in case of disaster strikes, and application of the countermeasure to caution and impact of the calamity. I've already discussed this before. Now, that was the last topic or the last subtopic. Okay, now I want you to enumerate the 10 common types of disaster. Write in your notebook first, then you're going to send it back to me through Google Classroom. General effects of disasters, components of disaster management. And of course, write it down also, this question, and ask the question, explain the 2 categories of disaster and differentiate each, no? And how can you effectively participate in enhancing community preparedness during disaster and calamities? Wait na lang doon sa ating Google Classroom. Okay, good day and God